Let's talk about integrity. You know, the senator representing Anambra North Senatorial District, Stella Oduah, and the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, are engaged in a war of words over discharged certificate after the agency said she absconded from service in 1982. The former Minister of Aviation has directed the NYSC to retract the allegation that she didn't complete a national youth service within 48 hours. In a letter addressed to the NYSC DG, the senator stated that she completed her service and has her pictures in the NYSC regalia and a letter from NECA as evidence. Jide, you are asking if this is part of politicking. Why now?
Of course, it's part of it. This is a woman who has been minister, you know, been senator. Now, this issue is coming up in an electoral season. You can understand why the matter has come up. But until Stella Oduah successfully clears her name and clears all doubts, I can tell you that this matter will keep coming up. It will keep coming up because some people want to let us realize that, look, this person is not a patriot. This person didn't satisfactorily serve her nation. This person has squandered the course of the service here. I want to believe that the NYSC is not flippant. No one can argue that she served her nation.
Yeah.
But there are people who serve their nation and in the course of service get punished with extra year. Some do not complete it. Some do not even serve their country for one whole month. They just come for the orientation exercise.
Those things were taken for granted.
Yes, they just come for the orientation exercise and then return during the passing out parade.
And that's it.
Yes, they come back during the passing out parade and they come and tell us that they serve their nation. You know? But in this case, there's a letter that she has presented indicating that this was where she served and all that. But the NYSC is saying that she didn't complete the service. The NYSC's records show that she did not complete the service, or that at some point she left. That is what we should be investigating. And putting on NYSC dress does not really address that allegation. At what point did you leave? Did you get the NYSC discharge certificate? Were you there on the day of passing out along with your colleagues? Do you have pictures to show that on the day of the passing out, you are there with your colleagues and you got your discharge certificate just like other people? So simply wearing the NYSC uniform, in my view, does not totally address these issues.
But Paul, you know, in integrity here, so it brings me to the story of the one-time Minister of Finance who had this wahala and so on. That's on one part. The other part is the NYSC. Why go to, before you go to town, you make your checks. Because Jide talked about politics, so this is the season.
Exactly. Well, it's incumbent upon her to prove that she actually finished serving. Because I like to believe, like Jide said, that what would be the, I'm just wondering, why would NYSC lie? You know, you wonder. NYSC should have your records.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she didn't finish NYSC, the scheme, but NYSC should have her records. If you are serving, you must have a ZI, a zonal inspector that, you know, has your records, you report, all of that. You know, they should have those ones they should have all of those facts in your record that you actually served. It's either something is wrong with NYSC records, we don't know, but or it's something else. But she needs to prove it. You know, it's not enough to say that. It's not enough to say, okay, I give you 48 hours. I remember, you know what the story that comes to my mind. I am not saying that is the case with Senator Oduah.
Yeah.
I remember we had the first speaker, you understand? And then you also threatened that, I'm not going to Salisu Buhari.
Yeah.
It was reported, I think it was the news magazine said, look, this man forged a certificate. And then he said, no, I will go to court. Eventually, he talked very tough. Eventually, he apologized and confessed. So it is not enough to say, I will do this, I will do that. If you don't recant, change your statement. Prove it conclusively. If you... I participated in NYSC. I have pictures to show that I participated.
You served.
You understand?
Yeah.
I served. I have pictures of my colleagues and all of that. So I can always show that, yes, I have my discharge certificate. I have everything to prove that I served. So if somebody comes and says, Paul, you didn't serve, I can prove that person wrong in 10 minutes. So she should do more than she has done.
No wonder Napoleon Bonaparte said, if your enemy is making a mistake, don't interrupt him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would you interrupt him? What, you'll be happy to be relieved of him, won't you? I mean, what will give you joy is to be relieved of the enemy. So because the enemy is a burden.
That's it.
So it may not be a burden in the literal sense. It may not be the kind of burden that gives you a hunchback. But the enemy remains a burden. So you don't need to help him. You don't need to assist him, So, and these days, our churches no longer even pray for the enemy. They invite thunder to destroy the enemy. It was in the past that you will pray for the enemy in the hope that the enemy will change his ways. Yeah. But we've seen that they rarely change their ways. So people would rather curse the enemy, invite thunder and brimstone.
If God heard people's prayers like that, so many people won't be here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Many of us won't be here.
So, but again, I've been told that if you want your DNA without spending a kobo, attempt to go into politics. So we are here now.
Yeah, politics is a leveler. And honestly, I'm surprised that this allegation is coming up. But as we said, she has to provide more evidence.
Yeah.
That indeed she completed the service here. It's one thing to serve, it's another thing to conclude.
Yeah.
We've seen singers who just showed up on all kinds of things happen these days. Singers who show up at orientation camp, for the optics, they put on the NYSC uniform. Yeah. And after that, they go on to honor their obligations outside Nigeria.
Yeah.
When they are supposed to be doing youth service, they are junketing and entertaining huge crowds outside of our country.
For me, the story is very straightforward. NYSC service should not be taken for granted, because whether or not you like it, it might haunt you tomorrow. And two things now. If Senator Stella Oduah is considered at the end of the day to be wrong, she should be ready to apologize. And the NYSC, if the NYSC is wrong too, there should be an apology from them.